Good day, class. We are now in modular distance learning. Let me give you first the guidelines to consider in taking our subject. First, follow the weekly home learning plan. Be guided in our lesson using your TLE self-learning module. Next, make sure to finish the given tasks on time and submit it on the required date. Next, you have to provide a portfolio. It should be a red long folder. And then last one, you have to set your priorities and practice time management. Our module in TLE 10, Quarter 1, covered the horticulture production. And in Quarter 1, we have 4 lessons. First, undertake the nursery work. Lesson 2, care of seedlings and growing plants. Lesson 3, types of planting materials, propagule. And Lesson 4, environmental aspects of nursery work. In Lesson 1, undertake nursery work. These are the following objectives: to select the ideal site of a nursery, the importance of quality control, and the proper use of nursery tools and equipment. Before I introduce to you our lesson, let me test first your ability. Get your TLE notebook and answer this learning task 1. Write true if the statement is correct and false if it is wrong. Number 1. Do not overload wheelbarrows and trolleys with soil or plants when used. Number 2. Clear dead plants, burn or bury them into the soil to avoid contamination. Number 3. Use sharp tools with caution and concentration to avoid cuts to hands and fingers. Number 4. Any source of water will do to ensure water availability in the farm. And last number 5. You can directly plant seedlings in the farm in any time of the day. Okay, now, if you are done answering, I want you to take a look at this picture. Try to analyze the pictures. Now, can you guess what is a picture all about? If your answer is a nursery, you got it right. Now, do you have any idea what is a nursery? A nursery is a place where plants are propagated and grown to a desired age. These include retail nurseries, which sell to general public wholesale nurseries, commercial gardeners, and private nurseries, which supply the needs of institutions or private estates. Nurseries may supply plants for gardens, agriculture, forestry, and conservation biology. Now, in selecting the ideal site of a nursery, we have to consider the following factors. Number 1, an adequate source of water supply. The site should be near natural source of water. An example is a river or spring. A deep well can be constructed to ensure that an adequate water supply will be available year-round. Second, soil. A good source of sandy loam or loamy soil should be as close as possible to the site. Third, the accessibility. The site must be close or near at a main road to minimize transportation costs. Fourth is topography. Ideally, the site should be relatively flat. As you can see, the slope should be 1 to 2% because the gradual slope prevents water clogging. Fifth is the availability of additional labor. There will be instances when additional manpower is needed, especially if you have a large or broad nursery area. Next is the ownership of the farm or site. In case the area or site will be rented, terms and conditions should be clear before putting up the nursery. There should be a clear contract between the owner and the lease. And the last one is the location. The site must be away from strong winds. Windbreaks are necessary in case strong winds occur regularly. So those are the factors to consider in selecting the ideal site of a nursery. Now, let's proceed to the proper use of nursery tools and equipment. To keep the safety of each tool and equipment, take note of the following. Number 1, conduct a regular check on all tools and equipment before using them to identify unsatisfactory or faulty items. Number 2, always use sharp tools with caution and concentration to avoid cuts to hands and fingers. Number 3, use correct lifting methods when you are lifting plants, tools, and equipment. Team lifts anything that is too heavy for one person. Number 4, do not overload wheelbarrows and trolleys with solar plants. Number 5, wear protective gloves when sorting and neatly stacking pots, pot trays, and propagation trays as they tend to attract spiders and other insects. Number 6, always return tools and equipment to the designated safe storage areas after use. And last number, be aware of vehicle and trailer movement at all times, in and around the nursery areas. So these are the factors to consider for the safety of each tools and equipment. Okay, now, on a one sheet of paper, answer the learning task 2. Write through if the statement is correct and false if it is wrong. Number 1. The site should be near a natural source of water or a deep well that can supply water year-round to the plants. Number 2. Always use sharp tools with caution and concentration to avoid cuts to hands and fingers. Number 3. Overload wheelbarrows and trolleys with solar plants. Number 4. Always return tools and equipment to the designated safe storage areas after use. And then last number 5, use correct lifting methods when you are lifting plants, tools, and equipment. Okay, I think you are done answering this learning test 2. Quality control. Quality control embraces every detail of nursery operation, from simplest area layout to most complicated management practices. Standards for every component should be set and made clear to all nursery workers for them to perform to the highest level of standards. In doing so, it is not far that plants grown in the nursery are of high quality and customer satisfaction is guaranteed. This is the importance of quality control in putting up a nursery. You have to keep in mind, a good nursery work needs a considerable amount of time and planning. It is possible to provide favorable growth conditions. It does not only supply the best planting materials that you need, but can be the source of livelihood as well. Okay, now, on a one whole sheet of paper, answer the learning task 3. Fill in the blanks with the correct word to complete each sentence. Number 1. A good source of sandy loam or loamy blank should be as close as possible to the site. Number 2. The blank site should be relatively flat with a 1 to 2% slope. Number 3. The site should be a natural source of blank or a deep well that can supply water available year-round. Number 4. Be aware of vehicle and trailer movement at all times, in and around the blank areas. And then last number 5, sorting blank and pruning of potted and newly propagated seedlings should be done regularly. Okay, so I think you're done answering the learning task 3. Now, for an engagement activities, if you have a backyard garden, try to help your mother or siblings to arrange pots, organize, clean, and tidy. And whenever you do the gardening, make sure to return the tools and equipment on a proper storage. In your TLE notebook, write a reflection in 1 to 2 sentences after taking this lesson. I learned that blank, and I realized that blank. Now, compile your answer sheets in your portfolio and be ready on the date of submission. That's all for today's lesson. Good luck and God bless.